And we are live. Welcome everybody to another episode of You Know What? Let me just say podcast. I'm your host, Ray. This is another edition of me ranting before I go to work because I need to get this shit off my chest. A couple of things. And um usually when I do this, I just like these are just things that I just want to talk about personally. Again, this has nothing to do with the people that I fuck with. It's just like it's on my mind and usually we'll put this on my other channel, but I just too lazy to edit and shit. So we're just gonna do it. We're gonna put this on this channel. So the first thing I want to talk about is 50 versus Ti. Now 50 and Ti, they've been beefing for a minute. This ain't a newly fresh and new beat. They've always been kind of like throwing jabs back and forth. They've kind of like been making comments back and forth and shit. 50 he'll go. He's petty. If the one thing you understand about 50 said 50 is petty and Ti is just like Ti is bullheaded. Maybe a little hot headed, but definitely bullheaded. And to where it's just like he's not going to turn down a fight. So this is going to be an interesting battle. Now I know Ti done threw like two disses at him, so it's already been kind of like, and 50 hasn't like done a reply back, and I know a lot of people's just like they tired of him doing memes, just like getting back in the booth, and I want people to understand that 50 is at a point in his life where he does not have to rap no more. He called his show Power for a reason. I think 50 has discovered new ways to fucking over people without ever have to get into the booth, which is funny because rap wise, 50 is debatably undefeated. You can give him the Jada hit when he went at Jada Kiss, and I'm not gonna debate that, but he's debatably undefeated when it comes to beef. You could give him the Kanye one, and I tell people all the time, that wasn't a real beef. That was just a stick to sell albums, and it worked because he went platinum. But I think he knew that he just picked the right opponent because that during that time everybody loved Kanye. I think that was a ploy for him to sell albums because I think even he knew that Curtis wasn't going to sell go platinum like the first two. It wasn't until he got I Get Money though. When I Get Money, AO Technology and I Get Money, because his first two hits was Laughing Straight to the Bank and um Amusement Park. And they were okay hits, but they wasn't really like mega hits until he got AO Technology, and AO Technology was like popping in the clubs. And then so did I Get Money. I Get Money was a street hit. And then back then, you knew you had a hit when everybody started freestyling on your own beat. It was a thing back then. Um, but 50, he has developed new ways to just fuck with people if ever have to go into the booth again. As you can see, he's always been like that though. He's never just like rap. He will do things to where he will fuck like he will try to bury you or some shit like that. Look what he tried to do to Rick Ross, where he took one of his baby mamas shopping, and she called that nigga broke. Took the shopping, and then like made money with her, to where she sold books and like other stuff. Auntie Tia, y'all know Tia. Even though he had a rap beef song with it, like Tia told me, which by the way, one of my favorite beef songs. I don't know if it's top five, but I love that track. That track was actually pretty fire. Um, to where his other baby mama, he found out that she did a porno, and that nigga commentated on the porno as Curly, Pippin Curly. So yeah, 50 is a funny nigga. 50 is, and he knows how, and that's how he knows. That's how he gets you. He don't really get you with the rapping. He gets you with the other antics, and that's how 50 has always been. I don't know, maybe because I've been following 50 so close to his career, I understand this. That's why the shit with Jim Jones when he bought that studio, like, and he put Jim Jones on one. He said, "I will buy your studio, and then like you have to pay me rent." And he did. And once he bought that studio, you see, next thing you see is Jim Jones kicking the doors down. 50 didn't have to buy that studio, but him being petty enough to do it, he being petty enough to do it. And this is what I tell people. I was just like, if you give 50 a reason, he's going to be petty enough to do it. That's why a lot of people don't really beef with 50 because he's creatively petty. It's one thing just to be petty, be like "fuck you, nigga," and just throwing raps around, but it's another thing to be creatively petty to where I can fuck up your whole career. A lot of people, like the Ja Rule thing, should have told y'all, and not even like the Wangsters and all that stuff. But to me, it's just like when Ja Rule tickets was on sale and 50 bought all the tickets so he could perform in front of an empty crowd. And a lot of people just like, oh no, 50 get money. I was like, that's money's not the factor about that. It's the fact that you like making him perform in front of an empty crowd. Imagine saying you sold out the tickets, come to find out it's your op, and he's making you perform in front of an empty crowd. It's just like that's that's levels of petty where it's just like I have fuck you money. I don't know how much people to understand how much of a flex that is there. I got fuck you money to where I will make you perform in front of an empty crowd. So when you see this and when you see 50 Cent, I don't think he's getting into the movement. I think he had an Instagram post and then like deleted it because I just checked it. It's not up, but paraphrase. It was just like, y'all, I don't need to get in the booth. Y'all need me to get in the booth. So I want people to understand, like he's going to fuck with you in a way that like it's going to hurt your pockets. It's going to hurt your pockets. Like he don't have to do that. He's still being a mogul. He's still selling stuff. He's still selling brands. People still watching Power. He'll be fine. And I think he understands that. But the people like you could say financially above those. Like he's going to big bank take low bank you, and that's what he's been doing to a lot of it. So with that being said, it's just like I don't know if this where this beef is going to go because Ti is just very bullheaded. And I'm pretty sure Ti got money. I just don't know if he got 50 money, but Ti do be getting money though. And but also Ti do things that people not really. I don't want to say don't like, but it's just like they kind of like they've been 50-50 on this comedy. Like, cause he done a comedy tour, they've been 50-50 on this comedy. I know he just put out a new song or some shit like that, but um, and this shit hit too. Don't get me wrong, this shit hit, but I don't know. It's just this is one of those beats where it's just like it'll die down a week. But again, I've always been against people talk about someone's mother. So that's where it comes from. Um, so that's what I got to say about that. Yeah, y'all not gonna see 50 in the booth anytime soon. So y'all don't have to worry about that. On to the next thing I wanted to talk about. This brother right here, FD Signify, and I watched some of his videos, the little documentary. I did watch Bamboozled because Bamboozled is one of my favorite movies, and I watched the review just to see the review on there. Um, FD Signify is very left leaning. I'm more than center. I'm not. I said I'm not no conservative. I'm not no Republican. I do not support Trump at all. Um, I love black women. I love and adore black women, but this don't have nothing to do with black women, in my opinion. But I like the last. I know the last video I got on him and the Jam podcast because they was the whole thing about calling Kevin Samuels anti-black. I don't care, and let me be frank. I don't care if you don't like Kevin Samuels because I think the way Kevin Samuels did his content wasn't meant to be liked. It was meant to like to warn people, but try to get people on their grind or some shit like that. But also, but I knew that some of his stuff was very like so direct and that a lot of people not gonna fuck with it. In which I think even Kevin Samuels was cool with that because he's talked about that many a times. Okay, but the anti my thing was just like he called and he said that a lot of things Kevin Samuels was doing was anti-black, in which I wholesomely disagreed because he was trying to put black men on. He was trying to get black women to see the value in black men. That was his whole channel, is that these delusional ass females who called into his show, who comes on his show looking for people that they're not worthy of getting. And that's all he was telling people. It was just like you asking and doing all this stuff. Do you even think you're worthy of getting, or do you even think you even the person you want you? Because you're entering a place where you don't have to choose. You're not doing the choosing. He's doing the choosing, and that's all he was saying. But people had a problem with that, and it's probably because of his tone, in which like he humbled. Let's just say it. He humbled a lot of women to where women did not like it. And again, I tell if you're a woman, you're not really supposed to like it. Especially if you've been told that you can get whatever you want, and there's a nigga talking about fuck no. And it's also it's just like because the way he carried himself was just like you can give a damn if you're attractive or not, or you ain't at least bit of a kid. You ain't all that. Now, the problem I have with this video in particular, again, I don't watch this shit, but stuff like this pop up, is basically this. Is what he said here.
The Kevin Samuels portion of this video as its own standalone video. I know he's already dead, but we have to kill his legacy. I don't know.
I know he's already dead, but he has to kill his legacy. Why? Why? Especially since in the beginning of this video, he says this.
Oh yeah, the Manosphere. Oh Lord. Me and the Jam Boys talked a couple of weeks ago, and this short has me back in the Black Manosphere world, and I'm rubbing my face just like I did here. Let's listen to what I said about Kevin Samuels. I had like people I went to school with that were like becoming Kevin Samuelites going into their 40s. I'm like, nigga, you too old.
Yeah, Kevin Samuels around the time like it got so bad, like their kids our generation that was really on that Kevin Samuels shit because it like created that line to like the Tates of the world and everything.
I've seen like at least 10 to 15 grown ass niggas just online bawling their eyes out.
His core guiding principle was anti-blackness.
Yes,
just period. And it just so happened as a black man, he aimed it more at black women.
I remember the day
I haven't talked about the Black Manosphere explicitly in a while. And part of that is because they kind of died. They had their moment, and after Kevin Samuels died, literally, they didn't have anybody charismatic enough to carry that torch.
Now, the first things first, if you ever follow Kevin Samuels, he was like, yes, he kind of started in the Black Manosphere. Yes, he did. But he also kind of separated himself away from the Black Manosphere because the people in the Black Manosphere also didn't really like Kevin Samuels that much because they hated the fact that he kind of like blew up, that he was the one blowing up. And instead of kind of like riding his coattails, they was just like, oh man, it should be me doing this and all that other stuff, in which he kind of like spotted. So he kind of like steered clear away from the Black Manosphere slash Red Pill. Because a lot of people were saying that. It wasn't just Tommy Sotomayor, it was actually a lot of people. If you follow O'Shea Du Jackson, he'll tell, he got majority of the Jackson. And he could tell you, yeah, there was a lot of people hating on Kevin James because of his meteoric rise. And he kind of blew up real quickly. And so, and yet, like, he keeps, and his name was keep being synonymous with the Black Manosphere. And if you ask, and like anybody that tell you they watch him, he's just like it's not Black Manosphere. Yeah, again, yes, he kind of like was brought up in there, but you really wouldn't call his content Black Manosphere or some shit like that. Even me, I say I'm red pill ish. I'm not fully red pill and red pill is, but I also tell people I don't like Myron, and I feel like the core values of the red pill, because people don't understand what the fucking red pill is. They just think it's just a bunch of men hating on black women, which is not. But that's all you see. But then again, that's all they show you. That's what they sell, which has been my problem with the red pill. And I've said this plenty of times. I said red pill should be a social club, and it should be like an infomercial where if the shit does work, you show people that how red pill affected you in a positive note, as in people getting their lives together, people getting their money. I done said this. I done chased us the red pill. That's why I always say red pill ish. I didn't chance as a red pill myself. With that being said, this is some bitch ass nigga shit. And I'm not saying this like I'm some tough guy and I'm some like, oh yeah, when I see him, I'm gonna fuck him up. I'm not even on that type of time. But at the same time, this has to be said. I think what FD Signifier is doing is some bitch ass nigga shit. If the Black Manosphere is such a waste of time, why are you still on this? Because it's Kevin Samuels. And the reason why I think why he's trying to kill his legacy is because um Kevin Samuels was some of the stuff Kevin Samuels was talking about is actually coming into fruition, especially the thing with black women losing their jobs and like, you know, 300,000 black women got laid off and some shit like that. And he was telling people when winter is coming and the money start coming in, Subway is hiring. That, that was one of his biggest quotes. A lot of stuff that Kevin Samuels was saying is coming into fruition, and some people are feeling it. But to me, this is like the most bitch ass nigga shit is this right here. Actually, let me start right here because he was talking. Because most people don't know that Kevin Sanders was an image consultant, and he's talking about this, right?
He was very much a brokey before he blew up on the Black Manosphere. People in Atlanta will tell you he used to hang out at Lenox Mall in front of Neiman Marcus. He was trying to hustle. He was trying to hustle his way into what he eventually became, which is an image consultant. That was his goal, was to be an image consultant. He would hang out in front of Neiman Marcus in his little suits, and he would offer to personal shop with people. His initial goal was to be like a fashion influencer.
Welcome to another edition of Life and
Kevin Sanders told you that himself. As a matter of fact, I remember he talked about himself. He like how he hustled his way to what he was doing, right? So you so the people that know Kevin Sanders and know kind of like how he kind of go up, you're not telling anything different, but also you're kind of like manipulating to where you make him seem like a loser and a brokey. It's like you all came from somewhere. And then to me, this is the bitch ass nigga shit. We're going through like his old videos in which he himself kept up, and it's kept up for a reason. And he did a video for that talking about, look, you got to see the journey. And he was talking about the journey is like how even Kevin Samuels himself said his old shit is corny. He says he'll tell you himself. His whole shit is corny, is bad, but he keeps it up to understand the journey of where he came to and where he was before he died. And to me, that's like, if anything, like if you kind of look at this, you kind of look at it as inspirational. Because if you look at anybody's video when they first was doing stuff and when they first trying stuff, you gotta understand like you're just trying to get your foot in and shit. Um, let me if I can find, I'm gonna show you some. This is this is when I started doing. This is when I started doing reviews on my pages. If those people remember, I still was doing album reviews, and this is like the first album review I did. This is I've always had, I've always had this. I did all this stuff on my own because I went to film school for this shit. But this is when I was like doing album reviews. I was like, why don't I do this on videos? And this is like one of the first ones I was doing.
What's going on, YouTube? This your boy Skino Fly back with another review of one of my most anticipated albums, Lupe Fiasco's Drogas Wave. Now, I've been a fan of Lupe Fiasco forever. He is in my top 5 favorite rappers of all time. When I tell you, the first time I heard him, I thought he was the dopest nigga out. Enemy of the State is probably one of my...
You hear the monotone and like me just trying to figure it out and me just like going off the top of my head is what I was thinking of. I think this is like the first time I ever did this shit. This just so you know, this is when I first learned how to do lighting and like how to light up a room because like the first time I was doing it, I was like, oh shit, it's real dark over here. Let me go get some lights and really fuck with shit. So I like had my own little room in the back, and this was in a two bedroom apartment that I was staying with my father and my little sisters, and we was all sharing a room. And I would put some like lighting umbrellas because I had my own lighting equipment. I just got this camera, and I'm just like, fuck it, we just doing this. I was just doing it. This is like the first shit I was doing.
What's going on, YouTube? This your boy Eskino Fly, and I'm here to review the internet hive mind. Now, the internet, I've been rocking for them.
You
With
can
them
barely
for a
hear
long
it.
time. Ever since Purple Naked Ladies, Ego Death is one of my favorite projects from them.
You can barely hear it. Like you gotta have headphones to hear it because I was just adjusting sound and all the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Now, like I said, I've always had the idea of what I wanted to do, and then but this was like when I first started, and this is just like I was like, yo, fuck it, just throw it out there, just see what it does, and I'm still proud of this. I don't care what anybody says, like, but the point I'm saying, like, um, Parkers.
We are reviewing on my next
No, this is when we moved into like this house. We kind of moved into a house, and this is where all my family. In the back, we had this little she shed that my sister had, and it had like a living room and a bedroom, right? And so we used to call it the she shed. And since like there was a lot of space and a lot of room, this is where I did majority of my reviews, and this was like during COVID also. So s- like this is where I like found my voice, and this is where I was finding my footing. And honestly, this is kind of like one of my better reviews. And even I think even then, this is where I made my outro because I didn't have an outro, and then I made my own outro. This is like me, just like putting work in what I was doing.
review, and this time we were on my next black shows that's gone on to Netflix, and we're knocking through a lot of them. And this one, I'm proud to say that is another one of my favorites. We are reviewing the Parkers. That's right, Kim and Nikki Parker. For those of you who don't know, the Parkers was a spinoff of Moesha, Countess Vaughn, who played Kim. They thought she was very funny, and she was funny enough to get her own spinoff. So they partnered her up with Monique to play as her mother, and they go to Santa Monica College. And, you know, hilarity ensues. It's funny as fuck. Let's get down to the chase. The Parkers is hilarious, and
Excuse the fedora. I was just trying shit with the fedora also. But as you can see, like this was me more comfortable into um doing reviews and videos. And this is when I was just like UPN was putting all their black shows on Netflix, and I was like reviewing all of them. And like you could tell like I very comfortable in what I was doing. So the fact that he is making fun of this, it's just some bitch ass nigga shit. Because we all come from somewhere. Have you ever seen Consonant's first video? Let's. This is Consonant's first video.
Channel yet? Kyle, where is your YouTube channel? You need to start your YouTube channel, you know what I'm saying? I am finally starting YouTube, all thanks to you guys. You guys have shown me so much support throughout this year. I don't know, man. You guys have shown me a lot of support, and now I am bringing the payback to you. You know what I'm saying? You get me, you feel me, you get me, alright? You feel me? You get me? Alright, you feel me? Today, for my first video, is kind of like a little introduction video where I'm going to be telling you guys what you guys expecting on the channel, who am
I bet you in Consonant looking at it, he cringe at this shit. But it's again, it's understanding the growth of where you're going from. This is where I'm coming from. So him making fun of this is like again, it's some bitch ass nigga shit. I'm not even trying to start no beef with FD Signify. You probably gonna look at this and, nigga, you only got 234 subscribers. So you probably just look at this and just throw me away like paperweight. But and I'm not gonna spend 12 hours like talking about this nigga. But everybody has somewhere where to start.
Style by Kevin Samuel. Again, if you like what I'm doing, what are you going to do? You're going to go ahead and click that YouTube subscribe button and content to
Bad hair. Oh, he was a geek. He was a chemist. That was his original content. It's probably still. I doubt it's still on this channel. Let's see. Oh, nope. It's all still here. It's all still here. All of this cringe cologne reviews are still here. Look at this dude.
You're going to go ahead and click the subscribe button on the YouTube because you're a nice person and it doesn't cost you one dime and it helps you make little pieces of pennies.
Is this your king? Is this your king? Oh. And that's the real part. This is how all the Black Manosphere dudes are at their core. They're all this cringe in their presentation and look. Why did he stop it? Because it didn't make him any money. He was broke. The misogyny was always there. And so he started doing stuff like this, recognizing the brilliance of, I'm not even gonna say his name. I'll just say he started trying to find his way into the Black Manosphere. You know, so he did that for a little while, but the Black Manosphere, for obvious reasons, rejected him. They thought he was corny. They thought he was lame. They thought he was effeminate. They made fun of him. They said he was actually gay, et cetera, et cetera. Ironically, he struck the perfect balance of sassy and offensive to really start bringing in a Black female audience. I bring this up. This is important. And this goes back to what I said in this Tyler Perry video. There are a lot of Black women, more conservative-minded Black women, that this type of offensive real talk is valuable to them. So he started really blowing up, and this is the infamous video here where he calls the girl average at best. And from here on, you start seeing these numbers go big. But you can.
That's just for any channel. It's like all it takes is one. And then again, you're showing a man's journey. His shit was, and again, he'll tell you himself, his shit was very cringy. Shit was very corny at the very start. And then you find your flow, and then you build from there, which Kevin Samuels did. The fact that you're hating on that, and the fact that like whatever he was doing and it started working, again, I disagree with what he said. It's just like, oh, he just found a niche coming at Black women. Black women was coming on this show. And the thing is, even when he was talking to Black men, because he was talking to Black men before that, a lot of Black men agree with some of the shit he said, which is why, like, anytime people go back to his old shit, it's like, yeah, he used to talk about Black men too. He used to try to help Black men. He used to try to help Black men. To me, again, and this is why I call this a bitch ass nigga shit. It's just like, even to this day, like, Kevin Samuels is more relevant than ever, even 3 years after this, which is, proves Biggie's one point. You're nobody till somebody kills you. And the fact that you're trying to destroy a man's legacy, that instead of just building your own and keep building and keep pushing your own legacy, you just have to go and destroy another man's legacy. That's some bitch ass nigga shit. And like y'all can't tell me no other shit. That's it. I keep saying this. Kevin Samuels was very much needed. It was very much needed. So if y'all don't, I mean, and again, I don't care if y'all don't like the man. I think y'all wasn't really supposed to like him, but I think he was very much needed in the community. I disagree with the whole anti-blackness thing, and I think he just doing this to pander to women because both Vince and women is his audience, but um, he also has to realize that a lot of things Kevin Samuels was talking about, it's been coming into fruition. Especially when it comes to jobs, especially when it comes to relationships, and especially because of women being delusional of what they think they can get, and then finding out what their market is, which is it was just here. I said Dana. Dane. Is that? Excuse me. This one right here, Dana Day. Cause she said something about like her being 40 and like she's almost 40 and what she said she was almost 40 and said she still really don't have the options and all that other stuff. I was not mad at me personally. I wasn't mad at that. I wasn't mad at that. I think a lot of people and a lot of people realize because a lot of us are still single and a lot of us feel like we're good men and it's just like there's men that, even Kevin Samuels will say this. It's like, yo, 50% of men are in middle class. And I think it's because, like, a lot of men are minimalists. We don't need a lot to survive through shit. I don't want to say we're just getting by, but since we don't have no responsibilities, we're just taking care of ourselves. We don't really need a lot of shit. That's why I tell people, I think a lot of people are minimalist by nature. I think men are minimalist, but like, that's why you can say men can sleep on a cardboard box and be comfortable. Yes, but when it comes to like taking care of a family, they'll do what they got to do to take care of a family. Now, anyway, let's see, men over 40. Now, what she's now again, I've heard it. She be in the middle sometimes. She talking. She get on bed and she get on bed. But where's she at? I might have to go to TikTok. Let me go to TikTok.
Get crazy and then going down the road. Know your head been down the road. Yeah. Oh, you been down the road, nigga.
I know you ain't been down the road.
Hey, man, cut all that bullshit and get on the bus.
Is her video gone? Damn, did she take the video down?
Girls who stitch in this video to call Fanita unattractive, talk about her.
So I seen the video and I think it's been circulating for a while now. But let's talk about the whole Fanita situation. Fanita said that some people are just not attractive, right? And
The Fanita drama, let's talk about it. So everybody's upset because Fanita went on the podcast and she said everybody's not beautiful and some people are ugly.
No, how do you get to y'all gonna excuse me. There we go. Did she she usually be in the middle. But speaking on godly,
The Fanita drama, let's talk about it.
I think anyway.
Girls who stitch in this video.
Anyway, keep the show rolling. I seen them talk about like the lower options of men after 35 and like almost 40 and all that other stuff. It's like, oh, this man even good enough. Now, of course, a lot of men is gonna have it because it's just like hit dogs or holler. And I'm not saying she's right or she's wrong. There's good men. And then like people brought up pictures of her in her 20s where she was big and she was a big back. It was like this is why they was looking over you and like all the rich and attractive men. Blah 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 blah, yada yada yada. I'm just going to say this. It's just like you are who you attract, And that's where I'm going to get at. You are who you attract. And uh, um, Kevin Samuels warned, like Kevin Samuels warned about people like that. I think, where Average Man Unplugged. I'm pretty sure Average Man Unplugged had it. Somebody had these videos. Here we go.
That a lot of the complaint from men and women. No bullshit. You'll be on the fence.
What are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying. I'm curious though. You just play on the fence, like you play. This woman gets online, talks all that shit about herself and other women, and sometimes this
My age didn't.
business. You gonna keep poking, then you gonna get poked back.
Me being single at my age didn't come from bad decision making, stupid. It came.
Mind y'all, fellas. This woman gets online, talks all that shit about herself and other women, and sometimes other men, and she used to look like this. Brother,
And running around when we was in our 20s, and we just passed up on all of these great guys. The attractive men when we were in our 20s were doing what attractive men do, which is be players, talk to a whole bunch of different women, and never want to settle down. You do understand that, right? So given that the attractive men in their 20s didn't want to settle down, that left us with ugly dudes, dudes with kids, and dudes who didn't have themselves together. It's the same thing now that I'm older. The options didn't go from good to bad. It went from bad to worse, right? Now, instead of dudes just having kids, they got kids and grandchildren. And if you think some of them was unattractive back then, add on now the fact that some of them is out of shape, they ain't got no hairline, and they missing side teeth. They wasn't financially stable in their 20s, and a lot of them still ain't financially stable. Some of them still paying child support from the same babies that they was having when they was in their 20s. Y'all gotta start being for real. These podcast lies that all of these men was gonna get older and they was just gonna become these rich men, that didn't happen for most of them. Sorry. A lot of the men in their 20s who was doing all that settling down and getting married were undesirable men. Men on the verge of losing their hairlines. Men who didn't have no bunch of options of women to choose from in the first place. That's the reason why it was so easy for them to settle down. And just like anything else, there's always going to be exceptions to the rule. And I'm sure some women got lucky and they were able to find desirable men to settle down with in their 20s. But the exceptions don't make the rule. And I'd argue how many of those women and men are still married to this day. How many of those marriages actually lasted? Shout out to the ones that did. I know how y'all like to rewrite history and pretend as if it was all of these wonderful, great men for us to choose from in our 20s, and we just wanted to be outside and we wanted to party with our girls and we didn't want to settle down. That's not what was happening. The options weren't there back then. And you're still in the same position. The dudes who older, who are still desirable, they still don't want to settle down. Nothing changes. Nothing changes. It just gets worse. That's the part you're missing. So there's nothing that I can warn the younger girls about except letting them know that if you think it's bad now, it's gonna get worse.
Yeah, and the part that you left out is that you like Pookie. You even admitted that on a video a long time ago. But I ain't gonna waste my time backtracking. We gonna
Right there. That came from. I agree with him. A lot of y'all, you are who you pick and who your environment. It's one thing. It's just like, and I say this all the time because this girl, she was like, she a chief now in the Navy, but this was another Navy. She was just like, I can't be with nobody that I'm not attracted to. Let's say he could be a good man, but I'm not attracted to him. I'm just not gonna be attracted to him. And I agree with her. I said, you don't want to. I think a lot of people are like that. That's why I think a lot of people are attracted to what you call the Pookies and the Ray Rays. I done told the story of many times. This one chick, she came to me and she was asking me for advice because she was just like, I got this man and he does everything I want, but yet I'm not attracted to him. And I called her stupid. I said, and I remember going off on her, not cursing her out, but I was going off on her. I was like, "So you telling me you got a man that does everything you want and everything you need and the way you want it, and yet you still don't want to be with him, but yet you crying on me over a nigga that didn't do shit for you?" Because that's what it was. It's like she was still um infatuated with the nigga that didn't do shit for her instead of like trying to make it work with the nigga that was doing everything for her. And I told her, I said, you know what your problem is? That you want the nigga that didn't do shit for you, um, to do shit for you. Uh, like you, cause she called, cause the boy, the man she was with, she called him be incredible chocolate, but she just didn't. She was really not feeling him for some reason. It's just like something about him that she wanted to feel, even though he was doing everything for her. And I said, the problem is, it's just you don't want him. You want the nigga that don't do shit for you. And the problem is, you want the nigga that don't do shit for you do the same things that you call the incredible chocolate doing. It's like you're not really attracted to them. So either make it work or let him go because you're wasting his time. And she ended up breaking up with the nigga. I was like, but there's a lot of people like that. That's why, like, a lot of people is just like a corporate Tupac, or um, they want to wrestle. They want to wrestle with a future body or some shit like that. They want to wrestle with things like that. So, I don't know where she's looking. I don't know because a lot of people say, "Oh, I've looked everywhere." I said, obviously, I don't know. Then you probably be married, and they probably would have liked you when you was big too. Because I ain't gonna even get up. The weight thing is not a factor. I don't see niggas in. I don't talk about big backs. Not because I am big myself, because I've seen niggas in shape with a big back. And I tell people this all the time. I've seen niggas this in impeccable shape, even women that are big backs, and will love them down. Do that what you will. So, I know a lot of people like making fun of big girls, but I know a couple dudes is just like, oh yeah, give me a big girl. If it ain't 250, I don't want it. So do that. So do that what you will. But let me go get ready for work. But I just want to leave with this. Um, before I could, I still think, like I said, I may run into FD signifier. Not saying that I won't, but I would still say this shit in front of him. And I always tell people this. It's just like you might meet these people in public, and this goes for me too. But that is some bitch ass nigga shit you did. And I would rather you work on your own legacy than just try to kill another man's legacy. So that's all I got to do. That's all I'm ranting for. I like y'all to thank for listening to hear me talk my shit again.